Good Monday morning, evening, midday, whatever time you're listening to us. This is Drunkscussions podcast. Today, I am joined with Jake from State Farm. We've had Jake on a few times. Jake, thank you so much for hopping in. It is just you and I today. It's a little twosome. The threesome is on a break, so they're down in Tennessee. So this is us, bud. This is us. How you doing?
Yeah, man. I got the khakis on. I'm ready to answer insurance calls all night, and I'm ready to rock and roll on the stream, brother.
Nice, nice. This is gonna be
Thankful to be here.
This is gonna be a fun one. A lot of shit's fucking happened this week. People are dying left and right. People are being promoted, like they shouldn't be, I guess. And yeah, it is what it is. But things are going good. What are you drinking on?
We got nothing but the best Coors Golden Banquet beers.
You got
Stubby bottle.
the fancy stubby bottles. Yeah, the stuff that I used to. I lived in a town called Chesterville, and there was always these farm dumps, and you would find those bottles everywhere. But they're like super old fucking bottles, rusted lids, and they're
Oh
like
yeah.
collectible stuff. Anyways, I am drinking on Bud Light. Not
Good
a
old
sponsor.
Bud Light.
I do have
Bud Light.
the Bud Light Lime, Orange, and I think I like a grapefruit one. I got a few. I don't know. But with all
They
that
got
being said,
grapefruit Bud Light now. That's
yeah,
wild.
yeah, it's good.
Hmm.
I have it because it was on sale at Publix. Fucking $16.99 for two packs. It's
You
cheap.
can't beat that.
No.
Do not beat that.
Nobody wants to drink it. That's why. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and roll that intro, and we'll be back.
What happened was we got caught up in a drunk discussion, and then he burned the bacon.
We talked during the intro.
Where we talk about everything and know nothing.
You know what I mean? So it kind of seems like a win-win-win.
Here's Gerald.
Here's
Telling everybody I'm dead.
Just draw a dick on it. It's not offensive. It's a dick. Everyone's got a dick nowadays.
Dude, tell me more, because I don't know anything about it.
Oh, a flapper's a 1920s dancer, you motherfucker.
Got a lot of bagels. I like my bagels. Chug 30.
Cheers. Salud.
I mean, this shit's free, right?
Monday morning. Chime on in.
Tranquility Base
Drunkscussions.
here. The Eagle has landed.
And we're back. Yeah, Jake. So let's play some catch up. It's been a few months since we've chatted, right?
Yes, it has. It's been too long, my friend. Too long. A lot has happened.
Yeah, a lot. What all has gone down in Jake Land?
Well, Jake Land is very boring. I got the business running. We're just working as much as sun up to sundown, pretty much every day except Saturday and Sunday. But that's all that's really new with me. Although don't tell Abby, but I did order a ring today, so that's probably the most exciting thing going on in my life.
Doesn't she listen to this podcast?
I hope she doesn't listen to this one. I didn't tell her I was going to be on, so we're going to try to pull a little finagle here.
Little Jakearoo.
Yeah. Well, she went ring shopping with me, so she knows it's gonna happen, but she doesn't know when. So now I get to play the long con and try to confuse her, and
Do you have an
mix up the
idea?
wires.
Do you have an idea for the proposal?
I do have a few ideas, yes, but it's gonna be a drawn out process. Now we got to make sure she's not ready for it.
Yeah. I was gonna do the whole fancy proposal thing, but I just had a few buddies over. We were drinking on a Monday night. And as my wife, girlfriend, I guess at the time, was pouring shots, I snuck up behind her and I got down on one knee. I had my buddies taking photos and stuff, and I stuttered. I had an entire fucking script wrote out. Didn't read a lick of it. I'm like, would you marry me? And then that's it.
Hey man, nothing's my parents' proposal story. So listen to this. So they're 22, 23, and my dad's trying to get an apartment. My mom's living somewhere else. And he's like, well, why don't you move in with me? I can't really afford this by myself. And she's like, oh, I'm not moving in with you until we're getting married or until you propose, like kind of old school, it's like the 80s, the early 80s, late 70s. And he goes, well, fuck it. Why don't we just get married? And that's the proposal. No, get down on one knee, nothing. Just the most anticlimactic shit you've ever heard in your life. But hey, they're still together 30-ish years later.
No ring, or did he have a ring?
I think she got a wedding band eventually.
Oh. That's a very cost-effective measure.
I mean, he is a frugal man.
Yeah.
He's a
Uh,
very frugal man.
so you got your business off the ground, huh? How's that going? Like,
It is a challenge, man. It is probably one of the most challenging things I've done, but it's rewarding. It's very lucrative.
I don't think people realize how much actual, like, a lot of people are like, oh, start a business, and then they think they don't have to be a part of it.
I mean, it's not like I'm doing some crazy stuff. It's just lawn and landscaping, but we are running like 2 or 3 crews. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts. A lot of the admin back end stuff is what I wasn't really prepared for. You know, I'm just a grunt. I'm cool with doing manual labor all day.
A lot of Excel,
But
a lot of business expense management, all that fun shit.
I'm not gonna lie, I outsource pretty much everything because I just don't want to fucking do it.
That's the cheapest way to do it. Like just hiring somebody to do that full time.
Oh yeah.
You're talking an 80 grand salary. You could hop on Fiverr, find some guy in India, and he'll do it for $5 a day.
Oh, dude, I got my cousin doing it. I can send her like $150 a week. It was taking me like 15, 16 hours. I'm like, this is too much. Fuck
IRS
that.
comes knocking at your door.
Eh, you know, you won't make it happen.
Fuck it. It's not like they hired a bunch of people.
Yeah, 87,000 guys coming down on me.
Imagine
We'll figure it.
that has to be one of the largest hiring sprees in America. 87,000 people
Oh,
all
I
at
know.
once.
Hey, man, that's why we got such low unemployment right now. They're all working for the IRS.
I don't know how you think about unemployment, but I think 10 to 15% unemployment's really good.
Well, unemployment's such a weird thing because unemployment isn't the amount of people that aren't actually working. It's the amount of people that aren't working and or actively seeking for jobs within the last 6 months. It's not like the entire population of not working people.
Right.
So, yeah, you could have 3.5 or whatever percentage of super low unemployment, but how many people have been without a job for 2 years or longer and are just like, fuck it, I'm just not going to find shit. Like, I'll just live off the government's tip.
Well, I mean, I'm more or less relating back to, I mean, have you met 10% of the, like, go out into public, right? And you tell me you want to have a conversation with 1 out of 10 people.
Yeah, probably not me.
One of those 10 people is probably licking something off the floor or just probably
yeah.
sell you something you shouldn't be having. You know, it's just 10%
100%.
is good. That's a good unemployment rate because 10% of the people
Oh, I'm not
probably
disagreeing
shouldn't
with
be
you.
working.
Oh, I agree with you there. I agree with you there. But yeah, man, it's been a while. You've had a whole kid since I've last talked to you. That's super exciting.
Whole kid, no parts missing. It's been
Yeah. Healthy, I hope.
yeah, no, is it? I would definitely say so far. So her name's Delaney. She's a sweetheart so far. I would definitely say she's a false advertisement for a baby. We have had no problems at all. Like the delivery went well. It was a cesarean. It went really well. Some people say latching is an issue where the baby grabs a hold of the titty and starts drinking. No problem. Moment pulled out, right onto it. She's shitting great, she's pissing great, she's got a little bit of dry skin, fucking normal. That's it. Like we thought the dogs would be a problem. We have 4 dogs. We thought they'd be a problem. Nope, they're already bodyguards. Like whoever has the baby is who the dogs are following. They'll lay at the feet, they'll just stay at attention and just say, okay, baby's here. Moment the baby makes a noise, they come and grab us. They're like, hey, baby's probably dying, and then they like take us into the room.
No kidding.
Something is bound to go wrong, and like blowouts, if you know what a blowout is yeah, shit everywhere. We've had a few of those. That's normal. Health wise, dude, perfect, healthy, beautiful baby. She's gorgeous. I don't know. She's definitely got her mom's lips. She has my hair. It's like long, platinum blonde hair. She's gorgeous. We don't know what color her eyes are at. That'll take a few months, but no, I don't know. I couldn't be fucking happier. I mean, she's
awesome, man.
She's gorgeous. She's healthy. I'm in a house now. That's new to you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you moved into the new place, so you got the kid. I mean, living the dream,
new
brother.
house, getting solar panels installed in like 2 weeks. My taxes next year are gonna be fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah, you're getting all the tax breaks, brother.
All the tax
all the
breaks.
tax breaks.
I'm like, oh, you made your salary back this year. Great.
Good on you, bro. I'm happy for you, man. I was
Nice.
hoping it would all go smoothly, and it's awesome, really. And I mean, as far as the eye color, doesn't Lauren have blue eyes too? So double recessive, probably gonna have blue eyes.
Nope, she has brown eyes. Like But so did my parents. Both my parents had brown eyes, but out of the 5 kids, 3 of them have blue eyes. So I don't know. We'll see.
Hmm. Hmm.
Blue runs
Well,
strong.
all the blue-eyed people come from a single person. A little bit of a ancestry there.
Who?
I don't know.
Oh,
Back in the day, it could have been fucking 300, 400 years ago. Could have been 10,000 years ago. That's where blue-eyed people come from.
oh, I guess you're right. There was somebody that had a
Yeah.
what do you
A
call that?
recessive trait. It's a recessive trait, and eventually that recessive trait carries and it pops up again. But everybody that has blue eyes comes from a single family type deal.
Why am I blanking out on what it's called? Not recessive. There's another term for it. It's like a glitch in the matrix,
Um,
not a glitch in the matrix, but something about the DNA has a fucking hiccup.
mutation.
Mutation. Yeah, blue eyes was a
Mhm.
mutation. It couldn't have been
Yeah.
recessive because nobody else had it in the past, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would have been a mutation that somebody had, and somebody was like, that fucking blue-eyed guy or girl, smoke show. And then next thing you know, Hitler's killing a
Popping
bunch
up
of people
everywhere.
unless they have blue eyes.
then some dude in the 30s that just couldn't get into art school is having some crazy ideas.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers. It's been
Cheers
a
to
minute,
that,
man.
man. I know it's been too long. I always love coming on here. I love talking with y'all.
I think it
I'm
was
super excited for you and Lauren. I can't wait for one day for me to be in the same situation with a kid. Something I look forward to.
well, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a baby something carriage. I don't
Baby shitting in your face and pissing everywhere.
dude, she the blowouts crack me up. The first time we were like, let's go out. We put her in the car seat. We get home, shit all over the car
Everywhere.
seat, dude.
Oh
All
no.
over. And it's the shit that's starting to stink. Baby shit don't stink for the first week and a half. Then it is engraved into your nostril hairs. Like I'm sitting in this room. This
Yeah.
is a clean fucking room. I don't even let dogs in this room. I still smell
Mhm.
baby shit.
Oh, I believe it.
Uh,
Yeah.
I haven't changed your diaper for like 5 hours.
So my girlfriend used to work at daycares, and she's been in childcare pretty much the entire time I've known her. And she would come back after working. She worked in a like 6 month to 12-month-year-old room there for a while, and she would come back, and it would just smell horrific, and I would just be like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to handle that. But that's not just one baby. You're talking like 15 to 20 because you got 2 or 3 teachers in there or whatever. It's something else, bro.
Did does she get sick a lot?
She used to. Yeah, when she was working there, she got sick all the time. But since she's a nanny now, and then she's starting a new position in a couple weeks, getting out of childcare, so haven't really had a big issue in a while. But for a while there, yeah, she was sick almost every week.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm not looking forward to. Like Lauren's, luckily we're in a position where she doesn't have to work for a few, like a year or two if she doesn't want to. But
Nice.
when we have to do childcare, I'm not looking forward to just getting sick all the fucking time. Like my the girl who runs HR at our company, she's her daughter's sick all the time, crusty eye disease, whatever the fuck you want to call it, fevers all the time. Then she gets sick all the time, and COVID, even though
Yeah.
it doesn't exist down here, air quotes, everyone gets it all the fucking time. It's just I'm not looking forward to going back to
They're
public.
just cesspools, man. Like no matter what you do, I mean, they would have people come in every night and they're bleaching the floors, they're scrubbing every surface. But I mean, you just get so many different people with different germs and backgrounds. I mean, you're gonna get sick. But on the other hand, that's gonna build immunity for Delaney.
Oh
So I
yeah,
mean, you
yeah.
want them to have a really strong immune system.
That's why homeschool kids always have issues because they get immediately hit once they go out into the fresh air and they're like influenza and they die.
Got the bubble baby syndrome.
Bubble baby syndrome. Yeah. That I I'll tell you what though, everything that is happening in the news, that is one thing that's just at the back of my mind always stresses me the fuck out is like one day she's gonna have to go to school. And then I gotta deal with her coming home and be like, Daddy, we didn't have tornado drills, we had school shooter drills. And I'm like, I'm not looking forward to that day.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing, man. School systems are so messed up right now.
Back
It's
in the
it's a
day.
whole different it's a different world from like when me and you were kids. Cause like, bro, my parents would leave at 6 a.m. and they're like, make sure you get on the fucking bus. And I had to walk a quarter mile down the street. Like
I think
I'm 5. Just make it happen.
we had a 2.5 hour bus route, and I was the first one on, last one off on the bus.
Yeah.
And for middle school, that's when In elementary, you're going to school at like 8, right? 8 is
Yeah.
7:38 is when your classes start. Back then it was 7. So I was
Mhm.
basically on the bus at 5:30 in the morning, and fucking out. The worst thing we ever had to worry about was stink bombs. Like people smoking
Get the ass
cigarettes.
spray.
Oh yeah. Which I made so much money on back in the day, because I would make money, upload it into my PayPal, and then
Shame.
buy the stink
Shame.
bombs on eBay, and then I would
Did you just
sell the
sell them?
stink bombs in school. Dude, oh, I
Bro,
fucking
there were
destroyed
there
that
were
school.
2 kids that stink bombed our school, and this is in high school. So like you're 16 and you still think this shit's like funny. And
Dude, I
bro,
was 17.
bro,
It was
I was,
hilarious.
yeah, it's funny if you're the ones doing it, but I was like in the hallway when it happened, and like you just get this pungent smell. Like if you guys listeners out there have never experienced the actual ass spray, I don't even know if they sell it anymore.
I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do. You could probably get it at waterbeds and stuff for all I know. But that shit is pungent, especially if you're there when they pop smoke and just roll it down the hallways. That shit is horrible.
So I
Oh,
had the little glass vials, the ones that you would throw and they break and
yeah, yeah.
smell it
It's
up.
like a kind of like a pop rock type deal.
I would buy these boxes of 180 of them and sell them out at $2 a pop in 2
Yeah,
days.
that's profit.
2
I
days.
mean, you're wheeling and dealing at that point, bro.
Like you're like, oh, it's only a few people throwing stink bombs. No, where I went to school, there was 50 to 70 people just dropping them nonstop, and I'm just like this. Like they had school announcements, they had the fucking PA going whenever the principal got a whiff of it. He was like, I need anyone that's suspected of doing this to report to my office immediately. I'm just like, I'm the
Ignorant
black
as
market
fuck. Oh yeah,
dealer.
you suspect me of doing this, and I'm gonna report myself. How dumb do you think I fucking am?
It was that guy, and he's just sitting in the corner eating his snot.
Yeah, just
It wasn't me.
fucking booger eater over there. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. What's ass spray? Never heard of it.
We also had what was it? The tampon bombs. We had
What the
some
fuck is that? I've never
dirty.
heard of that one.
We had dirty fucking girls in our school, dude. They would take their dirty
Yeah,
tampons
obviously.
and they just yeet them at the wall.
And I'm sure it just stuck there like wet spaghetti. Oh, that's foul.
I mean,
That is disgusting.
that's a country school for you, you know? Like every single person that went to that school, though, I mean, realistically, has gutted a deer, has pulled a butt plug out of a deer to get its guts out. I mean, like, I grew up in a pretty fucking weird environment, and man, the shit that happened. Like, I lived out in the country. We did have the nonchalant little, racism here and there. I think we had like 2 or 3 grand wizards graduate from our school.
Wait, are you serious? No shit.
Well,
The nonchalant racism, but they were grand wizards, so
Well, you
they're
gotta
pretty
think.
high up there.
You gotta think. Like we went to a school, and our neighboring school was Fredericktown, which was the home, like the founding of the FFA, right? Future Farmers of
Yeah,
America. The
yeah,
corduroy jacket, all of it kind of originated in the school that I was at. And yeah,
right.
we had grand wizards back. Not like I graduated with two people in black pointy
Yeah, and
hats.
you made it sound like they were just like in your
No,
class. Like
no.
there's a little bit of racism, but KKK members, yeah, they were there.
No, it was like the past. Like we're talking like in the 80s, 60s. Yeah, we had grand wizards just graduated from our school. But no, the casual racism, like there's one time, and this was really bad, is it was in the news. It was huge. 2 people that were just a class above me were caught burning a cross in a like the I, put it into perspective. I really didn't actually meet my first black person until I was 16.
Really?
That's how small of a, like I am the most woke person you'll probably ever meet. I stay my lane. I listen to myself. I'm like, all right. But anyways, they burnt a cross in the only family that lived there, like in that district.
Yeah,
And on the cross said the KKK will make you pay, and they burnt their cross. And
really.
that was probably the biggest thing that happened in this like 4 years that I was at that school. And the family moved out. They're like, we're not gonna live here anymore, and they just
Fuck
moved
yeah,
out.
I'd move too, man. Fuck that. See, that's interesting because I grew up in like originally I'm from like a really rural county of Northeast Ohio, like damn near Pennsylvania. And I mean, there's like some cities there, but there are some. You got some people of color up there, you know. Like you get some blacks, some Mexicans. There's a bunch of different people there. And then in middle school, for like a year, I lived in like East Side Cleveland, where I was the only white kid. Then I moved down to Central Ohio, and it's pretty normal at one school. And then eventually, I ended up at a really preppy school, and that was the most racism I have ever experienced. Was at the preppy school, like straight racist. Like we were playing. There's a school in Central Ohio called Marion Franklin, which isn't the most wealthy district in Columbus, obviously. And we're playing them. It's just like a fucking scrimmage before football season, and we're beating the brakes off of them like 45-7 or something. Like it doesn't matter. Like we got the JV kids in, and our student section's just screaming welfare jerseys and shit like that, like welfare jerseys, just screaming at them. And I'm looking back like, what the fuck is going on here, bro?
We had a team that we were going against. The chant was the Circleville Goat Fuckers. Because one day,
This is Circleville, man.
Yeah, it's Circleville. One day, as a kid was getting dropped off, I guess like one of his family members was fucking a goat, and everyone on the school bus saw it. So we made the Circleville Goat Fucker chant, and every game we'd chant it. It was, yeah. There's nothing like good old country love.
Good old country love. Oh man, at least they ain't fucking sheep. Yeah.
What's funny is it's not funny. It just shows you how society is nowadays. The guy that burnt the cross, one of the people that was accused of it, he's now like a deputy with the.
I was about to guess he's a sheriff or something.
Yeah, he's a sheriff deputy.
He's a fucking sheriff. Yep, sounds about fucking right.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. And then when I was 18, I moved to Redmond, Washington, and that it was such an eye-opening experience for me, because you'd see a white dude, you'd be like, I'd go for runs like on near Mount Rainier, the mountain, and there'd be another white person, be like, how's it going? And they don't speak any English because they're like Russian or something, and you're like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Like
I guess in that area you're really only like 500 miles from Russia. Like if you go across the water,
well, I
you're
mean,
not that far.
still due process involved in everything, but yeah, I mean, there was huge Korean districts, huge Russian, Chinese. I met so many cool people there that it was a really fun, eye-opening experience when I was out there, and that was, fuck, I tell you what, that was probably the best thing for me, just being able to see a melting pot and understand, oh yeah, we're fucking nothing. Like you, me, anyone themselves, we are a tiny glimpse on this planet, and then you look into the stars and you're like, yeah, we're nothing. We're fucking dust on a butt crack.
Yeah. Big picture, yeah, ain't none of us shit. We're ants in the cosmic picture.
Just fecal flakes floating through the.
It's weird that people think like that, because I don't think like that. Obviously, I grew up like in inner city. I grew up around a bunch of different people: rural, inner city, preppy kids, poor kids. I don't really give a fuck who you are. If you're a cool person, you're a cool person.
Right.
But like I can remember, I'm in like middle school. We go down. My family and I go down to this trip to Gulfport, Mississippi, which like I didn't really even recognize. Like, oh, racism in the South, that's a real fucking thing.
Surprise.
So we're sitting there, waiting to go into this restaurant, and there's this African American dude just fishing off the pier, just doing normal shit, and I walk over because I love fishing, and I'm like, oh, what are you fishing? Blah blah blah. My dad walks over, and we're talking to him. And at the end, like we're halfway through this conversation, he's like, why are you talking to me? Like, are you gonna hurt me? And we're like, what? No, like we just want to know, like, what are you fishing for? Like, what's going on? He's like, white people don't talk to black people in Mississippi. Where are you from?
What?
I was like, yeah. And this is what, 15 years ago, maybe like 10, 15 years ago. It's wild, man.
It was about 7 years ago. It was my ex and I. We were driving through Atlanta because we were coming down to Florida to just go on a little vacation together, and that was the first time I experienced like I'm probably gonna get killed. Like,
oh, you get through the inner city, you get a little spooky.
I went to a gas station and I pull up. They're like, "What the fuck you doing?" And he got in, and I was carrying a Walter PPX at the time, and beautiful gun, by the way, beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
what is chambered in 9mm?
Yeah.
Nice.
And at that time, so I had it just off to the side, and she goes in to go use the restroom. And I'm sitting in the car while I'm getting out, go to pump gas, and I get back in to grab something out of the car. And the guy gets into my passenger seat. He was like, "What the fuck you doing here? Give me everything." And I'm like, no, you get the fuck away from my car." So lock the doors, go grab her, and we leave. And that was one of the ones, and everyone that was at that gas station just was looking at me. I'm like, "Oh yeah, nobody's here to like stand up for you. You are your
Oh
own
no, you're
person."
fucked.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
So ever since then, it's make sure you got a full tank driving through Georgia. Don't stop.
Oh yeah. Georgia's an interesting place.
And then
It depends on where you're at too.
I also had no beard. I looked like a little tiny preppy white boy. I had slick black backed hair. I was a tool
Got the
bag.
Sperry's on, the cargos,
Flip-flops.
a little bit of vineyard vine. Oh, flip flops. You weren't ready to run.
Fucking let me yeet my chocoladas at somebody. Good luck. Yeah, no, I wasn't prepped for that. But that was
It's an interesting experience.
I love where I'm at though in Florida. Like here in the Cape.
Florida is awesome. Florida's awesome. I'm sure if you get like inland or a little bit north, it could probably get a little bit funny.
I've lived in Panama City. I've lived in Pensacola. Those two places, it's trash. Like they call that the redneck Riviera because it is whiskey tangos all day long, just drunk white.
Is that
people.
the Panhandle?
Yeah.
Is that the Panhandle?
That's okay. Panhandle. And if you're listening from the Panhandle, yes, it is the most trashiest place I've been in Florida. I'm sorry. I lived there for a year. I know it's trashy as fuck. Okay. When it comes to places that are a little sketchy, Jacksonville. If you're in the college area, not bad. The moment you're outside of Jacksonville, it gets pretty rough. Orlando, in general, if you're not in the tourist section, you're gonna end up getting your wallet stolen. Miami, I did have 10 grand stolen from me at a nightclub, pickpocketed. That was fun. That was a great time.
Why'd you have so much money on you in a fucking club, Connor?
Oh yeah, did I say nightclub? No. Yeah, we went there for the Super Bowl and we met Jamie Foxx that night and we all decided like, hey, let's go to the strip club. And I remember we were pissing at the urinal. There's that guy that's always there like at the sink and he's got his like mints and his cologne and he always hands you the towel because you can't fucking do anything yourself in there. He's like, "You need me to pat your cock dry?" And
little rub and tug while you're in here, brother.
and it is respectful to tip the guy because yeah, he's just doing his job, right? So I pulled out $5, gave him $5, but it was also in that wad. And we walk out and it is shoulder to shoulder just packed and there's people with these flashlights above your head just shining them at your face. And we get to the poles and I'm like, all three of us that were there, we're like, we've got no money now. It was bad.
Oh yeah.
So we went back there again and it happened again. So we stopped going to
just quit going there.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever had somebody try to pickpocket me was at a festival that happens every year, Columbus Breakaway. I'm sure you know what that is. That was a breakaway and I'm like, I'm with my current girlfriend. This is like 3-4 years ago, maybe. And, we're just enjoying ourselves. And I start feeling a little funny business near my ass where my wallet is. And I'm like, who's trying to get in my booty hole? So I turn around and there's this dude just trying to reach into my pocket. And he never got anything, thank God, because I just clocked him and I kind of beat the shit out of him, told him to get the fuck out of there. And that was that. But,
It's a pretty appropriate, like, for starters, if you're going to be a pickpocketer, at least fucking be good.
Oh, yeah, you better be like fucking Matt Damon and whatever, Ocean's 11. Like, I want you to be that type of good.
Where's my watch, Like,
yeah, exactly.
If you're going to be a pickpocketer and you're fluffing me, I'm like,
no, yeah, it wasn't like it felt like he was trying to fondle me. Like, I'm like, who's trying to touch my booty hole? But no, he's trying to get my wallet.
Look around and be like, look, I can feel you back there. Listen, I've been out here for 8 hours in this heat. It stinks. You should wash your hands. You don't want that. Wash your hands.
Got some hand sanitizer. This is for you.
Just turn around here. Put your hands out. I've never had too bad of a problem. Like, I stay away from Miami for the most part. It's a good place to go party, but don't carry cash. And if you do, I've realized fanny packs. like thin fanny
Oh, yeah.
packs that
It's
you
right
can
in front of you.
tuck in your belt line too. So they're not even like on the front of you; they're in your pants.
Like a real small one that's almost like just like a big buckle belt. You can tuck it in real quick.
One that can fit your phone and a few stacks
Yeah.
of cash in your ID. That's it.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. It's by the way, for this is like PSA for partiers. That is called a running pack. You get the running, sweat resistant, water resistant pack. I have 2 of them. The fanny packs. You stick it on there. You could tighten it. It's elastic band. That shit's perfect for partying because you can fit everything you need in there. I don't know why I'm doing a PSA for partiers. Let's have a drink.
Cheers to that, brother.
Oh,
Cheers
hey.
to the partiers out there.
Yeah, long live the king, by the way.
Yeah, speaking of racist, the queen is dead.
Yeah. Shit. Speaking of racist, a little sideline.
Hey man, she grew up in the early 20th century. You know what she was about.
Do you think, man, I don't know if he's in here right now, if he's watching, and it doesn't matter. Do you think the queen has bucked down with people other than her color? I'm sure she has.
We're talking about the queen right now. She married her cousin. She kept it in the family.
Yeah, but that's what they do.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
They've been doing that for centuries. It's not like it's unheard of. And by the way, like, yeah, we're talking 96 years old. Her lifestyle and mentality from back then is so different than today.
Oh, 100%. I mean, she was there for the roaring... When was she born? I mean, 97, 2022. I mean, yeah, I guess she really was. I guess she was in her teens during the 1920s. She was doing some partying.
I believe she was a heavy partier. I feel like she knows what booger sugar is. And I actually have respect for the queen because she was heavily involved with World War II in the sense of helping troops and things like that.
That was Churchill, man.
She definitely killed my cousin, Princess Diana. I full-heartedly believe killed Princess Diana.
I think Princess Diana was waiting for her at the pearly gates with a Louisville Slugger.
Have you, the memes we are getting out of this is
bro, they're fantastic. I've seen some of the best TikToks since the app was created this week.
Spirit Halloween moving into the Buckingham Palace. Fucking out! Wow, those guys really move quick. Just a helicopter flies in, drops the banner. Spirit Halloween. Oh god.
Hey, it's long live the king now. What is it, Prince Charles III?
Yeah, King Charles III, and then Meghan Markle's kids are now Prince and Princess. I guess they're involved in the family. One thing I can definitely see, was it Andrew or was it Charles that had their knightship revoked for being a pedophile?
That's Philip. I believe.
Philip Overall.
There's too many of them. I don't know.
A lot of family members.
Old aristocrats. I don't really know them too well. I'm American.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. We in America have our fair share of high-powered pedophiles.
The upper echelon, if you will. King Charles III. That's interesting. It's an interesting thing to say. Long live the king. They haven't said that in over 70 years over in England.
Over 110 years. It was 1908.
Was there a queen before her?
It was 1908 was the last queen.
Is that when she... Really? I didn't know it was a queen before her. That's interesting.
Yeah, 1908 was... I believe... Do not quote me. Like I said, Drunkscussion is a bunch of convincing idiots thinking that they know what they're talking about.
This is in-depth conversation right now.
Pretty sure it was 1908, though, was the last king. So it's been over 110 years since the last king.
Really? Yeah. I heard on the radio this week, and I guess this is true. I did fact check it. There was a movie book and movie in like the 80s and 90s that was like kind of like a future novelization or kind of fictional, like about King Charles III's reign before he took over. So I'm really interested to see if there's some, like, speaking of like the conspiracy side of this, because I love that part of this podcast, is like how much of that show and that movie and novel will come true during his reign.
Well, I mean,
there are certain events that do happen that are really lining up.
They're just a figurehead, right? They don't have any political sway or power, do they?
No, yeah, the prime minister and parliament runs everything. They got a new prime minister too. Boris is out.
Well, yeah, I remember Boris leaving. He's hasta la vista. is what he
Did he
said.
do that?
Yeah,
Did
on
he
his way
really
out.
do that?
I
Oh
actually
my
enjoyed
God.
Boris. He was definitely a dialed down Trump when it comes to like the
Well,
social.
he was super liberal though. He had like the exact opposite policies of Trump.
It was just
He
the
just
like
kind of
facial cues,
well, he
everything.
had the shitty toupee and all that good stuff
Yeah.
going on.
Worse teeth, you know.
You know, he's the British version of Trump.
Yeah. He's in the chat right now. What's up, Deadly? Yeah, so he's sick right now. I was gonna have him on as well. He's over in the UK. He's like
Really?
too soon. But yeah, it was Andrew that was the pedophile.
Andrew, okay, I'm sorry.
Hey,
Yeah, don't
Deadly,
quote me on anything.
was it 1908? I think it was. I don't know if you want to chime in on that one. But
Yeah, Deadly. Didn't they shut down like everything in England for like I heard the Premier League is like completely shut down. I love watching soccer. Liverpool, those are my guys out there. But the Premier League, all of the championship is like completely shut down for this foreseeable future. They're like
yeah.
torn up over there.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
1908 and yeah, it's shut down is what it sounds like. But if so right there's two business models I wish I could have been heavily involved with if I was able to do a time machine. One was during the Biden slash Trump running. I would have loved to have been a sticker slash flag manufacturer.
Yes. Yes. You would have made a killing.
There was these two lesbians, super liberal lesbians that never were involved in anything, and then they got started getting so many orders for flags right off of Fort Myers Beach that they made $3.2 million in 2 months off of selling flags and stickers.
What do you think it costs to manufacture a flag? Maybe $2. They're selling them for like 30, $40, right? I mean, a big flag.
So the company that I'm with, I ended up designing some like Trump themed flags for them that was for the company. However, marketing wise, I never actually put them out into the public. It was just for them to put in their house. And I paid
Mhm.
$70 for a like a 6x4 flag or 6x3 foot flag to get printed.
It's that expensive, really.
Like people were paying $50 to $100 for a Trump flag. And
Oh yeah.
they'd be selling out of this shit. And I was chatting with them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, couldn't give a fuck about Trump. Couldn't give a fuck about Biden. They were both fucking like Ron Paul, like far end liberals. Good for them. But they made so much money, and they're able to capitalize so much off of it. The other business model, flower shop in the UK when the Queen died.
Oh, killing. Absolute killing. Also, Deadly did say it looks like the premiership is running and everything, so that's good to know. I like watching my soccer on Saturday mornings, and it is soccer here in the States.
It's football. You kick it with your foot. It's football.
Football.
I played.
No.
I love playing soccer. I ended up playing with the defensive end for America, which he was playing for the crew at the time, but Will Trapp. I ended
Yeah.
up playing with him for a few.
Really?
Cool guy. Yeah. I always wanted
I
to
played.
pursue it, but bad concussion.
Yeah, I played soccer, football up until maybe eighth grade ish, end of middle school. But I was just far too aggressive.
Yeah.
I was probably getting at least one card every game. So I switched to American football after that, and I was damn good at that.
My nickname was the ankle snapper.
The ankle snapper. Liverpool.
Liverpool are sucking ass right now. We did own football for a while there.
They are doing really bad. That's my favorite Premier team. If I'm going to be honest, my favorite team in the world is Juventus. Forza Juve.
Yeah. I don't really have a favorite team. I don't
Really?
have the time. I don't really watch sports. Like even this year, like
I barely watched this year.
my coworkers finally got me into doing joining their fantasy league football. And
Mhm.
I don't know shit about football. Like for the
Bro,
longest time, I
American
called it
football
goals.
is like one of the hardest sports to watch for me right now because I mean obviously when we grew up in the early 2000s you had Ray Lewis, Patrick Willis, all these Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, these monsters that were just headhunting all game long. And now you do that, which is the way football should be played. Watch some Jack Tatum highlights, watch some Sean Taylor highlights, realize what the game is, and it's just not the same thing.
So as well involved as I am with football, every single word you just said went right over my head. That's how well involved.
Somebody will
football
get
am.
it.
Yeah.
Somebody will get it.
Not a football guy. Not sports in
It's
general.
okay.
Like I like volleyball. That's pretty cool to watch.
You can at least get into the fights tonight, right? You got Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson, bro.
Been getting into the fights a lot, and it's all due to Conor McGregor. That fucker got me into watching fights.
Fuck Conor McGregor. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him. He's a piece of shit. He's garbage in the sense of like just how he treats people. He's a piece of shit. However, I love his pettiness. There's a bar that he fucking went to, and if you've watched anything on TikTok, if you watch anything in the social media, you remember that time he hit that fucking old man in the face when he didn't try his whiskey or whatever he was trying to promote at that bar.
By the way, his whiskey is absolute trash.
It is shit. It is absolute
shit. It is some of the worst shit I've ever had in my life.
Conor McGregor, though, is so fucking petty. That guy, that's if you've ever been to a dive bar in Florida and you go there on a regular routine, you see the regulars. They're always doing their little scratch offs. They're just fucking chilling there. They have their 7 to 10 beers and then they drive home. Just retirement money. That old man that was there, same fucking thing. That is his regular bar. Conor McGregor is so fucking petty. He bought that bar and then banned him. Banned that old man from going there because he just didn't want to try his fucking.
I mean,
whiskey.
from the bar owner's point of view, Conor McGregor's probably coming in there and dropping 10 bands every time he shows up. Probably, but I mean, that poor old man, he's probably been going there since he was 20. You know those Irish bars over in whatever Ireland's towns names are, Dublin or whatever.
Yeah, just it can fucking Lickington. Yeah. Oh god.
You know, there's bars in like England and Ireland that have been around since the 1600s.
Yeah, there's fucking
like
mossy roof, fucking cobblestone walls. He thinks he's part of the Irish mob, is what Dudley said. He probably fucking is. He probably pays people to like. He is a narcissist too.
100%. I mean, he probably is part of the Irish mob. He was a plumber for a while.
He really? Was he laying pipe before he started fighting?
Yeah. When he was like 19, he was laying pipe.
That explains why he's so good with his fucking mouth.
Get into fight. Bro, here's why I hate Conor McGregor. So, I mean, his wife is now, I don't know if they're still together or not. I hope not for her sake. But, he's a plumber and he gets into fighting. And obviously, if you want to be in the fight game, I wrestled for 15 years. I was in MMA for a while. So, like, if you really want to get good, you got to spend at least 6 hours a day in the gym. So, his wife is supporting him through all of this. And he finally gets famous. And from what I've heard, he's just cheating on her left and right, treats her like shit. I mean, he's just garbage human being.
I mean...
And I hope Conor finds this stream and starts screaming at me in his Irish fucking accent.
The odds of him hearing about this is 0, so I'm not worried about that at all.
We will manifest it.
I'm manifesting you, Conor, you little cunt.
Fucking Irish cunt.
I don't know if that's a bannable word on Twitch. We'll find out.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, Conor McGregor, he's a twat. However, he is the person that got me into fighting because of
how... You can buy my house. If you see in the housing market in America, I will make a killing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll double what I paid. Fuck.
Go for it, bro. I'll find a new place.
He could probably buy the state of Florida for all I fucking care. Whatever, bud.
Do your thing, dog.
Just don't buy Duffy's. That's my bar. The 2-for-1s I love. Oh, fucking hell. But yeah, Conor got me into fighting, but other than fighting, I don't even watch fighting that much because I'm either working out or taking care of a family now. You know, I'd love to watch more. I'm sure once my kid is old enough to so going back to Delaney, which by the way, what do you think of that fucking name? Delaney?
I love it.
That's a solid fucking name. It's got a little Irish twang to it. I like it. The doctors, they're all like, you can't have your baby laying on its stomach. You can't have covers on its face because of SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome.
Yep.
I get home, my in-laws, some of them are nurses, warning me of this. And I'm like, okay, let me do my own fucking research on SIDS. Did you know 2,300 kids in America die of SIDS every year? There's 3.7 million kids born. That is a 0.00062% chance that my child is going to die of SIDS. Mind you, we are very, very good parents. We always have an eye on this child. I was like, I'm not fucking worried about it. But it's about that 9-month mark is when you're like, okay, the kid's the worst thing it's gonna fucking do is fall out of its crib because it's fucking around and finding out, you know. And it will probably survive that. It'll just be a lot like me, which the worst things.
Hey man, we've all been dropped on our head a couple times. It's all right. But I mean, yeah, the sudden death syndrome, that is a real fucking thing. I know of people that have had that happen before.
Really?
It's yeah. Not around
I know
the area I
somebody-
live in currently.
The baby rolled off the bed and then got stuck in between the bed and the radiator and cooked. Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that was actually
That's tragic.
That's a close family friend that happened to. Mind you,
Really?
she also has 12 kids.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of them's got to go.
Statistically,
that's a statistic right there. I mean, I mean,
yeah.
you're playing the game, bro.
How many? So, are you like an only child? How many siblings you got?
I have one sibling.
One sibling.
I have a younger brother.
Okay.
Yeah, 2. Now my cousin, she has 7 children, so she evened it all out for the rest of us.
Does she live out in the country?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, of
redneck
course.
as fuck.
And
They working on the farm, brother. I grew up on a farm. They work in the cattle. They got the beans growing out there, a little bit of corn. You know how it goes.
back in the day, yeah. I mean, that's what I was doing. I didn't have farmland, but I had animals that we'd take care of. But it wasn't because we needed it. It wasn't because of our family surviving. It was hobbies, like a few hundred
Boredom.
chickens.
It's boredom. You ain't got the internet out there, cable shit out there. What else are we gonna do except fuck? You know, we're gonna do some baby making.
We were at I remember I was in line at a grocery store with my mom, and my mom, like, I basically was tuned out most of my childhood from anything going on around me. I'll be honest. Like, I did all right in school. I didn't start caring until I was in high school, really. But my mom would be like, "I'm pregnant again," and I'm like, "Oh, again." Okay, cool.
Wait, how many siblings do you have?
4 other siblings, and I've
4. So you're one of 5.
yeah, I'm the oldest out of 5. Yeah.
Really?
I don't know how old my sister, like oldest sister, is. She might be like 22 now. I've got a 19-year-old sister. I've got a 15 going on 16-year-old brother. And then I think a 13, 14-year-old brother. I am not heavily involved with that family since I moved out when I was 18. Like, do I wish I was still heavily involved? Yes, but at the same time, it was probably the healthiest thing I could do. Getting away.
You got to learn to be your own person. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody's family situation's different. I mean, I'm still pretty heavily involved with my family, but my mom has an autoimmune disease where she can't really move around very well. So I'm really there for support a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are other situations like yours. I mean, you got so many people flooding around. Go be your own person. I mean, luckily, I'm in a situation where I can go be my own person too. I'm just nearby enough where if they need me to run to the grocery store or come do something, I just fucking make it happen.
The idea for me is like I'll be not involved until they're at that point where they're like, we need a caretaker, and then that's when I'll be involved, because the rest of my siblings, I love them to death, but I don't think they're capable of doing stuff like that. Like, we're gonna be buying the lot next. We already have the lot next to us, but we're gonna buy the other lot next to us and build a mother-in-law suite. And my mother-in-law, she's probably gonna be a person that we end up taking care of. I love her to death. She's a wonderful woman. So she'll probably live there, and we'll just take care of her. And then if she ever passes and I have to take care of my mom or my dad, I'll do the same thing. But unless they move down here, I'm not moving back up. Ohio's cool.
I wouldn't.
It's cool to visit. But
I'm not going to stay in Ohio my whole life. I'm running this business. I'm going to get my bag, and I'm going to figure out something else to do. Somewhere else.
Tell you what, you're in fucking landscaping and lawn. Like, that's really good for 8 months out of the year.
Oh yeah, 8 months out of the year is fantastic. Then it's dead. You don't do shit.
Do you do plow? Do you do snow plows?
I am in the process of that right now. I'm trying to secure a SBA loan. Oh, dude, you're looking. I mean, to effectively do it and to make my money back with a little bit of profit, like barely breaking even this year. I mean, I'm looking at 30-40K just to get into that side of it.
Shit. That's just the truck and the plow and then the salting.
That's the truck, the plow, renting a skid steer to load the saw.
I didn't even think about that.
Labor, bunch of different stuff. And I mean, the thing is with plowing, that's such a hard part to get in with business, is it's super high risk because it only takes one mistake and one of your trucks is out. and done the rest of the year. So it's super high risk. So it's something I may or may not do it this year, but in the future, yes, because it is extremely lucrative. If you get a good plow setup going, you can make well over 6 figures in a month. If you get a good snowstorm, you're making 50 bands in a week. Done.
I mean, that's a quick way to pay off that division, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, it all sounds good on paper until you're out doing it.
That's like what I do. Like I'm in the roofing
yeah.
solar industry, and like storms, yeah, you'll easily make $500,000-$600,000 in a year doing during a hurricane. But no hurricane, you're sitting there with your thumb up your ass. You're like, oh, I really have to have to do something.
I got to do some sales. I got to go knock on some fucking doors.
Yeah, you do.
It's good. It's how it goes.
Yeah, but same concept. Yeah, I get it. On paper, it sounds really good. You know, especially when you're hiring people, you're like, oh yeah, you'll make great fucking money here. And then you're like, until, you know, oh, we've had this year sleet, you know?
Even the landscaping, I mean, it all sounds great on paper. I mean, yeah, I can go out and I can do a 20-yard mulching job with 3 guys in a day. But to make that happen, I need a $20,000 truck. I need a $15,000 dump trailer, which, I mean, that's $35K in the hole. Not that bad, because I can do it 3, 4, 5 times a week if I really need to.
What about?
And I mean, you got to pay for labor. You got to, what's that?
What about hardscaping? You guys do anything like that?
I mean, that's a whole different beast.
Is it?
Because I mean, you need equipment. If you get like real serious hardscaping, like I really want to get into patios, and like I'm really trying to get into working with the government right now. Like I want to get into like mowing highways and I'm working with the SBA on it. I've got like I'm going through a whole process trying to get that whole thing going. And I mean, if you really want to work for the government, you're working with building inspectors, you're working with city councils, you got to get permits. You're looking at probably 3 or 4 skid steers to get it going. You're going to need 15, 16 guys on a crew to make it really happen in an efficient way. So, I mean, you got to build a real big business to break into it.
Have you been to the Keys?
I have never been to the Keys, actually.
All right. Have you ever been on Alligator Alley?
No. I've only been to Florida. I've been to Florida multiple times. I used to go on wrestling trips to Florida every year. And then this past year, my aunt and uncle built a place off of Pine Island near Cape Coral where you're at. That was the first time I don't know. That might be Alligator Alley. I don't really know.
I'm 10 minutes from your uncle. Yeah.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. I would love to move my business down there just for the simple fact if I love that area.
Alligator Alleys, to give you perspective, is like 100 miles of straight highway that crosses from the west to the east of Florida or vice versa. And driving it, you're like, ooh, whoever is fucking mowing this is making a fucking killing, because
it's just open field.
It's literally, you have it's a 4-lane highway. The meridian is grass. The outside bit's fenced in grass. 100 fucking miles.
Just miles of it. Oh yeah.
Grass. And
that's the dream, brother. That's the dream for me. I'll sit on a mower all goddamn day.
That's what you're doing. You're literally driving your mower straight 100 miles, back 100 miles, back 100 miles, and you're doing that 6 times just to mow that.
I'll park one truck on one end, I'll park the other truck on the other, we'll bang it out. That's the week.
And that's all you need. That's one fucking project, and that's the state paying you. You know that money's coming through. There's some.
They have to pay you.
There's some bureaucratic bullshit that happens with getting the checks. I'm going through that with.
Where the thing is, when you get on the good side of the state, I know some guys that own companies down here that work strictly for the state, and they're like, once you get on their good side, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You're a free man. You're a free man. I can't. Right now, I'm doing like all residential, and I mean, residential's rough. I'm sure you experienced that with your business as well, but it's a little bit different because you're doing little projects.
We're dealing with 60, 70, 80, 100 plus $1,000 jobs.
Mm-hmm. And see, I'm not touching anything like that. I'm not big enough.
Yeah, well, and that's just roofing in Florida. You know, roofs are fucking expensive. The cheapest roof you're gonna find is 10 grand, and that's on a trailer.
Oh well, yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
We deal with people not wanting to pay you because they had one nail in their tire, and you're like, well, your $200 tire or your $30,000 roof, you know?
Right. Like I will happily take your tire cost out of this job. Happily.
Sake. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to talk about a lot of the customers I've had. One thing though, I will say, when you're dealing with residential, is the networking aspect of it. You're gonna meet so many cool fucking people just
Oh yeah,
by referrals. Like we were doing, I did the state attorney general's roof of Florida
that's sick.
during Hurricane Michael. Like, you know, you make some pretty cool
Did you guys
connections.
get any big storms down there this year? Like at all?
So far, no, but we have had like, we get rain. We basically get a tropical storm every single fucking night for 4 months in a row. That's just our wet season, right? And it's normal.
Right.
Everyone's used to it. But the abnormality of it all is we've had rain every single day, all day long for 3 days straight, and that is not normal. Like, you
No,
know,
usually it's like an hour storm, and then that's all you get for the
if
day,
that,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
if fucking,
It might downpour, but it's an hour,
oh yeah,
right? You know, it's
sideways
not
rain.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this year there's something brewing out there. Like when you have abnormal rain like we've had, you know something's brewing in that Gulf. Like I have
Oh
a
yeah.
really good feeling we might end up getting a tropical storm here soon, if not a Cat 1, Cat 2 hurricane. And I can tell you this, I would love a nice Cat 2 hurricane to come right over my house. Not only because it's really good for having people over and getting blitzed fucking drunk. Hurricane parties
Oh,
are no joke.
Cat 1, Cat 2 are minor, or are those the big ones?
No,
Cat
no.
5 is the biggest, right?
Cat 5 is devastation. If you're within
That's like
a mile.
Katrina, like New Orleans is in rubble.
Worse.
Not worse. Okay.
That's Hurricane Michael. Now there was New Mexico Beach and
Yeah.
Smyrna Beach that were, you would stand about 5 blocks away from the actual coast and you could see the coast because every single building is leveled. Just there's
Really?
nothing there other than foundations, and you're like, holy fuck, the
Bro,
gruesome.
that's so terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the ocean is one of those things that just scares the shit out of me.
I'm within half a mile of the Gulf right now.
See, when I was down in Florida, my uncle took me out on his boat fishing, and we went deep into the Gulf, probably like 40, 50 miles out. Yeah, I mean, it was one of the best times of my life. I had a ball, some of the best fishing I've ever had. But there's something about being in open water, and no matter which way you look, there is no land. And I mean, you know land is there. You know it's there. Like, you're cooling. But for some reason, there's just something about it that's like, wow, this is some of the wildest shit I have ever experienced. And I mean, I'm cool with mountains. I'm cool with some really weird terrain. I've been through some really weird stuff.
Did you hop
But
in?
the water? Fuck no, we were chumming the water. We chummed the bitch.
So did we. It's, if you're, oh man, being out in that open water like that and not being able to know what's underneath of you and then hopping into the water is the most terrifying fucking. Your butthole is the tightest, at least mine is the tightest.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
imagine being in World War II. Your aircraft carrier, your destroyer, whatever you're on is down, and you're just in the middle of the goddamn Pacific.
No.
You don't know what's out there.
No.
Bro, what blows my mind, I'm talking to my brother about this the other day. There are people, our ancestors crossed from Europe to America on a boat for 6 months, and all they had was a goddamn sail. Excuse me.
Goddamn, like, and they're just like, oh, the wind will take us where we need to go.
Oh yeah, we'll make it. You're fine.
Run out of food, you're fucking, every single person shitting through a strainer because they just have nothing in their system. They're all pissed drunk because that's the only thing that survives.
There's no water. You're drinking rum for hydration because that's the only thing that hasn't gone fucking septic.
If the pickled pig's feet is all you've got to munch on because everything else is gone bad.
You're trying to track down a seagull and fucking harpoon the bitch because you're hungry as shit. I mean, it is some of the most outlandish shit I've ever heard in my life, but like people really did that.
Do you think people ate like just nonchalantly or like, hey, look, Steve's asleep. Let's just fucking kill him, eat him. Nobody will know.
Oh, dude, 100%. Like you're out in the Atlantic. You haven't eaten, like, I don't know. You can last 3 weeks without eating. I mean, personally, wrestling, I've gone over a week without eating before.
Yeah, I've done a
week. But you get hungry as shit. You throw your cast out. You're not getting nothing. You're like, yo, this dude isn't working on the fucking ship. Fuck this guy. You got 30 hungry dudes staring at you.
If you can fish, you're probably fine for the most part. I mean, every time I've
I
gone
don't
out
know.
fishing,
I
I've
feel
had
like
no
those
problem.
deep water. I feel like those deep waters. You're probably not catching
Yeah,
anything small, man, unless you're getting real lucky,
just
like
fucking
super lucky.
pieces of plywood off the bottom of the ocean you're having to reel up, you know?
Oh yeah, in 2022. I mean, the fucking 1492. You're Christopher Columbus. You ain't catching that shit. There ain't nothing there.
Those
There ain't
fish,
nothing.
they didn't even know those fish existed.
We still don't, bro.
Oh, dude. The
Bro,
this
an ocean fact that blew my mind that I learned the other week is, you know, an anglerfish.
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about, the one with the real weird antenna looking
Yeah.
thing, the light, like
Big teeth.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Yeah, big teeth. Yeah, I always thought those were like, you know, like 2 foot by 3 foot. No, they're like 8 foot by 10 foot. They are monsters.
Yeah.
Absolute monsters,
Yeah,
bro.
they're fucking big fish, dude. Yeah. Just the idea
Monster.
though. I'm just thinking about it. Like I've jumped into that deep water once and it was to grab my rod because it fell out and there was
Did you
something
catch
attached to
something
it.
and yeah, and you let go or whatever?
Didn't get the rod. It started pulling me under. I was like, I'm not fighting this bitch. I let go. And then I
No, it'll sink.
realized I'm not anchored. The boat's not anchored. There's waves. I'm in the water. And you're like, I'm fucking 30 miles offshore. And you're like, you're just
Nobody's
fucking
gonna find you. You're just fucking
going
doggy
after your
paddling. You're
boat.
just straight panic. No, the
Uh,
only time I've gotten in open water like that is we did take the boat out to you'll know what I'm talking about. I can't remember, North something island. A hurricane cut it off from the rest of it.
uh,
Um,
you're talking off of Bokeelia?
Possibly it's just outside of the. It's like the intercoastal, and like this is the
Oh,
island that breaks into
North Captiva.
North Cap. We went to North Captiva. We took my girlfriend out there, my brother, and
Beautiful.
myself, and we hop off the boat, and I'm the dude in charge of the anchor. So I'm like, I'm storming the fucking beaches. I got the goddamn anchor over my shoulder, and I'm chugging through the water. I'm chugging through the water, and I get there. I sink the anchor, and everybody comes over, and my uncle's like, hey man, like, oh, it's beautiful, blah blah blah. He's like, hey, just so you know, there was a hammerhead about 15 foot to your left.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck, bro? And I mean, I'm coming back, and I'm the guy that has to throw the anchor back in the boat and hop in. And there's just a shit ton of sheep's head with them gnarly ass teeth underneath our boat because they
Sheepshead
love it. Yeah.
are the best fit. Like, so sheepshead we call poor man lobster down here because not only are
I've
they
heard they're good eating.
dude, that's all they eat is crustaceans. They have human teeth. Like they have
Bro, I would.
crunching teeth.
Yeah, they do. They're gnarly. I was eating who lives near the mangroves out there, and I was
Mangrove
catching red
snapper.
snapper.
Yeah.
I was catching mangrove snapper, and we fried up a ton of the mangrove snapper, and that was some of the best fish I've ever had in my entire life.
It's so good. Fucking redfish is really good too. Just fry them up, put them in a wrap. It depends on the time of year because yeah, after red tide came through, but down here the fishing is phenomenal. But one of my buddies is a helicopter pilot that does tours
Mm.
along the beaches, you know, the tourist tours, and he was
Yeah.
like, every single time he flies up, there's always a shark right by the coast, and people do not know. He's just like, you would think these people would see this. No, but there would be a fucking 10-foot shark, and he'd just fly
There
over,
was
and he's
a
like, there it
there
is.
was a there was a fucking 12-foot hammerhead because I saw on Twitter later that day. I like, you know, you can go to the locations shit on Twitter and like try to find stuff.
Oh
And
yeah,
I went there, and I was probably your buddy because it was a helicopter that took a picture of it, and there was a big motherfucker,
yeah.
like fucking 15 foot from where I was.
There's big
And I'm
fucking
like,
sharks out there.
yeah, man, it's wild. The sea life is something that I can't wrap. There's stuff in the ocean we don't even know about, and that just is terrifying.
There was the Oceanics Research Center that tags sharks. It's OSearch. You can hop online and you'll see the patterns where sharks are swimming and stuff. There's been
Oh yeah.
sharks that disappear off of it and then reappear a few months later on the other side of the Atlantic. And you're like, how the fuck they get there? And then they go to the shark. There ain't a shark there.
husk.
It's just a husk.
Yeah. Bro, there's some, yeah, the Atlantic and the Pacific. You get to those deep waters. I mean, you're talking miles deep, man.
Oh yeah.
You get the Mariana Trench,
yeah.
and I'm sure there are other trenches that we don't even know about that are probably just as deep. I mean,
Wouldn't that
it's
be
entire-
fucking something?
it's entirely possible. I mean,
Yeah.
the Mariana Trench, if you really look at it, that is a very traveled piece of water. There are a ton of ships that go over there.
I would imagine
So, I mean,
the
there-
north and south end of the poles is where there's probably shit deep,
Oh
deep,
yeah,
deep
you get
nobody knows
those
about.
those ice caps or those icebergs, and I mean, they're probably digging into the ground real deep,
Are you
real,
excited?
real deep.
Are you excited for the ice caps to melt and just something appear that nobody's known about?
I think what's going to really kill us is there's going to be some form of bacteria in there that we're just not prepared for. I don't think it's going to be something big. It's not going to be something really scary. Yeah, there's probably some shit in there that's horrifying, that's been frozen for years and years. But there's going to be a bacteria, something that can survive in that cold environment but couldn't move, and then it starts moving and it gets into our environment, and we're not going to be prepared for it. There's nothing we can do about that.
I tell you what, with looking at how the past 2 years have been, I don't think anyone's gonna fucking care once they announce it. I don't think anyone's gonna do anything about it. And I think it's gonna wipe out a lot of fucking people because everyone's like, oh, it's just the government trying to control us. That's gonna end up happening because
Well, I
that's
mean, the thing is, the government completely fucked up with COVID
oh, every
because
government did. Except
every
for
government fucked up except for
New Zealand.
Switzerland and New Zealand never shut down. And I mean, they were chilling and they did the right thing because that was a virus that was something we understood and could have.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it would because I mean, personally, I'm not a big COVID. Like, I'm not really afraid of it. I've had it multiple times. You
I
get
haven't had
really
it yet.
sick.
Yeah.
I've had it. I had it within the first week of it coming out, and I've had the Omicron virus as well. You get really sick for about 48 hours, and you're good. And the people that died from it realistically had outlying health issues.
I noticed
But
people that were on insulin were the like biggest issues of death is because the moment that they had to take insulin, everything that involved with the virus just took over because it fed it.
well, I mean, I don't know how much you understand about insulin, but when you take a insulin hit, like I know bodybuilders that take insulin because that works really well with growth hormone to make you grow muscle, right?
Yeah.
That makes you absorb nutrients. When you take insulin like that, it shocks your immune system to the point where it is inoperable for 28 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
Or 24 to 48 hours. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to
Beer's
me.
talking.
The beer's talking, yeah,
Uh.
obviously. Yeah. But, yeah, man, there's going to be something in those ice caps. When those start melting and it starts getting gnarly, there's just going to be something in there, man.
What was the movie that just came out with Chris Pratt and they're hunting the aliens and then they got back to this time frame and it turned out the aliens were there all along. They're just hidden in the ice caps and it melted in 2030 or whatever it was. Oh no.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen that
It
one.
was on Amazon. Decent movie. I can't remember what it was called though. It wasn't that decent.
Tell you a good
apparently.
movie I just watched was Prey, the new Predator movie.
So fucking good. So good.
Bro, that was fire. Fire movie, bro. That actually got me back into the Predator franchise. I just watched Predators from 2010 last night.
Oh yeah, you
That was
started
a good
binging
movie.
it. You're like, all right.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I love that shit. I love the aliens and Predators, all that stuff. Yeah, like Prometheus, Alien Covenant. I'm all into that shit.
What was Cloverfield? What did you think of Cloverfield?
I actually never watched that one.
You'd like it. Give it a shot. Give
I'm gonna
Cloverfield a
check it
shot,
out.
and then watch the two movies that came after it that are like
Mhm.
in the same genre world.
Mhm.
They're decent movies. Like Cloverfield was the first movie of its kind that kind of had that first person feel with the camera
Yeah.
work. Really good movie. You're watching.
Is it kind of like a Blair Witch Project, like found footage type film?
No. Well, yes and no. It's not really the setup of it. It's like you're following this guy who's recording a party he's at. He's just hanging out with friends. All of a sudden, there's a light in the sky, and he gets it, and people go up on the rooftop. Next thing you know, fucking just explosions start happening, and he's having to escape this building. Cameras found, yada yada. It's a good fucking movie, and if you're into the terrestrial type of thing, definitely a good top of the list movie. Cloverfield. There's a Cloverfield Paradox, I think is what it's called. That's got the guy who plays in Monster Inc., the big blue guy, Sully.
Yeah.
That actor.
That actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's kind of crazy in it. Good movies all around, but hey, it's time, buddy. We got to end her.
Yeah, I'm sad to hear it, but thank you for having me on. Please have me on again. I love being here. It's
Yeah.
always a blast.
It was a great fucking time. Plus, look, we still
Hell
got
yeah.
the fight to watch tonight.
Fuck yeah, we do. Tony Ferguson gonna kick the shit out of Nate Diaz
Yes,
on
he
it right
is.
now.
We'll put money on it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to Drunkscussions podcast. If you guys want to get in touch with us, find us on Twitch. You can find us on Facebook, TikTok, wherever we can be found. You can also email us at drunkscussion.crew@gmail.com. Be sure to check out our newest merch. We've got merch for episode 36, where we talked about nootropics, eugenics, things like that. A pretty cool design that I put together last week. So check out the fresh merch. We're going to have some new merch dropping for this week's episode as well. But with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for listening to Drunkscussions podcast. Peace.
1, 2, 3.
Yes, sir.
Good night, guys. Ooh.